This is Komets Corner.
Indy has got it. And Dufour had the game on his stick. Now Dufour has it again. Over it goes, one-timer. Score! Jalen Smerrick ends it! 5-4 Komets.
Well, that is a pretty good way to start a weekend, and what a weekend it was for the Komets. Jalen Smerrick winning it in overtime on Friday, and the Komets going on to get 6 of 6 points this weekend with 3 wins, including 2 on the road, wrapping it up with a win against Toledo on Sunday, and nobody doesn't like that if you're a Komets fan. It is President's Day, so why not bring in the president of the Komets?
No, the general manager.
Well, general manager, co-owner, president, you sell popcorn, park cars as well. I'm not sure what you don't do with the Komets, but David Franke is here joining us to talk some Komets hockey. And David, man, just a great weekend if you're a Komets fan. When you have a chance to see that you're tied now in first place for the Central Division standings, like what goes through your mind? How do you wrap up a weekend like this? Because it was nearly perfect if you're a Komets fan.
Well, it was. The game Friday night that we won in overtime was a great game, very exciting. Saturday, we got a great goaltending performance out of Sammy Janssen and scored 4 goals. And then the big win last night in Toledo in overtime. And Blake Murray coming through for us again. He's been really a good player for us this year. And I know he likes it here, and you can tell by his performance. But, wow, now we're tied for first place with Toledo. And the team is headed to Norfolk today. They flew out of Columbus, Ohio this morning. And so we'll take on Norfolk this week for 3 games and see what happens.
What have you really liked about this team? Because we saw such a great start to the season, 11 games on the road. They go 8-3 to start, and they've played good hockey throughout the course of the season. Obviously, as Jesse likes to say, it's nonlinear, so there are bumps in the road, but really this Komets team has been as talented as we've seen during the Jesse Kalicki era. What have you liked about this group going forward?
Well, number one, I think they're close. I think they don't seem to have any cliques in the locker room, so I think they're all pulling for each other. I think that's the big thing about it. I think our skill level is very high. We're not going to have a guy that'll score 30 or 40 goals, but we'll have quite a few guys that'll score 20 or more. You're 15 to 20 or 20 more. So I just like the chemistry of the team. I think the chemistry is very good. The coaches have done a wonderful job of putting a lineup on the ice every night after we have a lot of call-ups or injuries and stuff. And, you know, this is a group that cares. They honestly care, and they're proud to play here. I think they're a little disappointed in their home record. But on the road, we've been stellar. But, you know, I talk about it at our first meeting when we start training camp, and I tell them if you're going to be a contender, you've got to be able to win on the road. And that's paramount. And, I mean, we started off with all those road wins because the Coliseum ice was being put in, so we kind of set a standard for ourselves. And, you know, we've played 2 games on this 6-game road trip, and we've won the first 2, so that's good.
All right. Yeah. So about 3.5 decades, your family has owned this franchise, and you've seen a lot of guys come and go, but the Frankes still at the Coliseum, still making it work with the Komets. As we take a look at some of the video that we've collected over the years of you, what is it like to have this such a staple in the Fort Wayne community, and what does it mean to your family, Komets hockey?
If in 1990 you would have told me that I'd still be doing this when I'm 73 years old, I would have told you were probably nuts. But
people tell me that anyway.
But no, you know, we've been hockey fans our whole life. We've been Komet fans our whole life. And when we got the opportunity to own the team in 1990, when we took it over, we couldn't pass up the chance. And you know, there's been some tough years, some lean years. There's been good years, but overall, I think we've put on a winning product, an entertaining product, and we still care too. We don't have Michael around anymore, so with his passing a couple years ago. So it's my brother Steve, the CEO, and then I'm still with the club as the GM, and Steve's son Stefan is now our vice president of operations. So we're injecting some youth into the organization because that's where the future's at.
For you and for your family, what has been the most rewarding part about this 3.5-decade tenure with the Komets?
I think the most rewarding is the fact that the Komets are a staple of the community. You know, we entertain a lot of people. We draw really good in Fort Wayne, but it's just, we're a staple. It's almost like Chuck Surak told my brother Michael one time. He said it's Coney Island, WoWo Radio, and the Fort Wayne Komets. So that doesn't get any better than that. But I think that was a good one by Chuck telling Michael that, and I'm proud of that, and we're proud of that. It's you know, when you're local owners and you take over a team that struggled, and you don't really have in your past a lot of hockey work. Although I did work for David Welker for a year before we bought the team, but we were really new at it, and it's worked out. And people will sacrifice vacations in the summer so they have the money to come to the Komet games, and we appreciate that. You know, we're as big a part of this town as anybody, and we hope to be for a long, long time. Even if I'm not involved, we hope to still have the franchise moving forward.
All right. Well, you mentioned entertaining lots of people. Over 8,000 people entertained in a big way on Friday night as we take a look at some of the highlights of the Komets opening the weekend with a home game against the Indy Fuel. And this was a game where you guys looked really good in the first period. A couple of goals, Matt Capone, Alex Aliardi. What has Aliardi meant to this team? Because we saw him come in here. You know, he was born in Fort Wayne, lived the first few years of his life here before his family moved away. But what does he mean as a captain? Because that is not, wearing the C on your jersey is not something people take lightly when it comes to the Fort Wayne Komets.
No, it's kind of transformed him. I think it's rejuvenated him. He's playing with passion that I've never seen him play like before.
A little ball of hate. A little black ball of hate, isn't that what Shane calls it?
Yeah, he's really become aggressive and sticking up for every one of his teammates. He takes a licking himself every night, it seems like. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but he dishes it right back, and he stands up for everybody. He stands up for himself, and it's really turned him into, I think, a totally complete player, and you can see it by his performance this year.
I wanted to ask you this for a long time, but how do you watch a game? Like, through what lens? Like an owner, GM, fan? Like, when you're watching a game like you were on Friday night, what kind of things are you looking for? Is it fun? Is it business? Is it somewhere in between?
Oh, it's probably a combo of being an owner. Being the GM is probably the biggest one. I'm always the fan, so that'll never leave me.
That's the best part of it.
Yeah, that's the best part of it. When we score a goal, I feel like a fan. But no, it's mainly as a GM, watching how we're playing, watching how guys are performing. But on game nights, you know, there's not a lot I can do. So I sit in the press box or in the suite level club seats, and I watch the game, and there's not a lot I can do on game nights. It's up to the players and the coaches, so I can sit back and be entertained like everybody else, but kind of have it under a microscope too.
You see a little melee here. It seems like we're seeing less and less of that of the ECHL. I know that they've kind of made that a point of emphasis. But how much fun is it when you see some guys drop the gloves? Because I know the fans love it.
Oh, the fans have always liked that.
Yeah.
Our fans in Fort Wayne like the physicality part of hockey, and we always did too. But you look at the National Hockey League, and there's not a lot of fighting there. There's less than I think 3/4 of a fight a game now.
Really?
Yeah, and it's changed the game. It's changed the game to more of a skill level, which is good. But I think a lot of fans, you know, they still like that rough stuff. But I think you can have the rough stuff without fighting if you've got players that are willing to play a physical, type of game.
Well, speaking about physical guys, William Dufour is a guy that, boy, checks all the boxes when you look at him physically. How did you go about adding him during the course of the season? He's a former NHL draft pick, a guy that's played the bulk of his career in the AHL. How did that signing come about, and how was he added to the team?
Well, Jesse found him out there looking for a job. He had been in the American League, and he played some in the KHL over in Russia. He's played a game in the NHL for the Islanders. Played for Bridgeport. Really, I don't think he had ever played in the ECHL until he came here. But he was looking for the right opportunity, a good chance to get his career back on track. And he's starting to round into shape now, and I think you're gonna be happy with how he plays for us the rest of the year.
So this game on Friday night was a lot of ebb and flow. You guys score a couple goals in the first period. Indy scores 3. Then you get a goal from Magera to take the lead, and then Indy gets a goal as well from Joseph to send it into overtime. What are the emotions like in a game like that? Because you're on one cloud 9, and then boom at the bottom, and then back and forth. It's a roller coaster, man.
That's where the fan in you comes in. You get all bummed out that they've gone ahead in the game, and you hope you can tie it up and get into overtime if possible. That's where the fan part of me comes in when it's that type of a setup. But it's it's ups and downs, and we've been doing this so long that there's not a lot we've seen over the years.
So Jalen Smerek scoring the game-winning goal on Friday night. I wanted to ask you this. He was brought in. You guys signed him about a week before training camp. Yep. So how did that process work? Him still being available kind of blew my mind to a certain degree. But what has he brought to this team? Because we've seen him in Cincinnati. We saw him in Toledo. A guy you love to hate on the other team, but now that when he's on your team, you absolutely love a dude like this.
Well, he's probably one of the best offensive defensemen in the league. He's a tremendous passer, puck mover, which you need out of your defenseman. He's an agitator for sure. He likes to get under people's skin and rub them the wrong way. He plays a physical type game too. So, he's getting him as late in the summer as we did. I mean, when we had the chance to do it, we jumped on it. He was looking for a place. He lives in Flint, and that's where he played junior hockey. And he's, in his 30s now, so he was looking to come to a place for 2 or 3 years and finish out his career and hopefully win a championship. And, he's only 3 hours from Fort Wayne with his family back in Flint. So we were very fortunate to get him. And, I think if you saw Jalen every night like it was Saturday night when he scored that goal, he'd be in the American League. I mean, he's a very, very talented player. He cares too. He cares, he's proud, and he loves to play the game.
All right, speaking of guys that love to play the game, Trevor Janicki, he's a Minnesota guy, but he's played a ton of hockey here in the state of Indiana, playing at Notre Dame and obviously with the Komets. We had a chance to catch up with Trevor at practice this past week, and here's what he had to say about playing here in the Summit City. Okay, so when you take a look at your game, where have you evolved the most as a professional over the last couple of years to get to the point where you have from your time at Notre Dame? What have you really tried to add to your game over the last few years?
Honestly, I think it's just being able to play in every situation. At Notre Dame, I was looked upon to score a lot, and so being a pro, playing at different levels. Like last year, I spent some time in the AHL, and I had to learn to be kind of a role depth player. And then I had some time in Rapid City where I was playing a little more. Bigger minutes or whatever, and having a little bit bigger role, and then here kind of bouncing around playing different roles here. So I think just being adaptable and being able to play wherever the team needs you, wherever coach needs you, and kind of finding a way to gel with your line mates, and regardless of who they are, what role you really needed. So I think that's probably the biggest thing that I've been focusing on as a pro now. So.
Now, you got to play against your brother, Justin, 3 times already this season, but in the first game that you played against Kansas City, because he's playing for KC, you guys both scored a goal. So what was that experience like in that game?
That was cool. It was the first time we had ever played against one another, and then I scored in the first period, and then we had a face-off next to each other. He's like, we were just chatting, chirping a little bit. Then he scored. Then we had another face-off next to each other, and we were chirping back and forth a little bit. So neither of us are super outspoken guys on the ice. We're not yelling at other teams and stuff. But it was cool to see him. Obviously, don't want him to score against us, but it was still cool to see us both score and that. So
you take a look at your history in the game of hockey. You're a 5th-round draft pick by the Ducks back in I think 2019. Yep. So what did it mean to get your name called? Because I think any hockey player wants to be an NHL draft pick, wants to hear their name associated with an NHL team.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was going into college, so I was actually playing golf with my buddies, and I got a call from my agent and said, you got drafted by the Ducks. And so I went to a couple development camps there in Anaheim, and it was really cool. I mean, just being a part of a professional hockey team in the NHL, just being in the organization around the guys and the staff is really cool. And then just you see what it takes, and you see just kind of the pro mindset that a lot of those guys have, and learned a ton, and it was really great. And so I think taking a lot of those little things that I've learned with me over the years, and
So what is Trevor Janicki like off the ice? What do people not know about you, or what are some hobbies or things that you do away from the game of hockey that kind of keep your brain fresh?
I don't know. I started reading a lot once I turned pro, so I've read probably 40 books since I've been pro in the last year and a half.
Okay.
I play a lot of music. I play guitar. I play piano. I spend a lot of time doing that. I like to watch movies, play golf. I'm a big golfer, so in the off season I love to golf. My family has a place up in northern Minnesota on a lake, so in the summer I spend a ton of time up there on the boat or jet ski or just doing all that. So I like to be active, play a lot of pickleball in the summer too, and trying to get good at tennis. I love watching tennis, but I'm really bad at it, so I think that's something I want to get better at. But yeah, it's a little bit of all that.
You said you turned into a big reader. Favorite book in those last 40 books that you've read since going pro?
Favorite book I've read since going pro? Dave Ramsey has a money mindset book that I really enjoyed, and I started to use some of those principles of his. So yeah, I go with that one.
All right, that's a good choice, especially for a guy playing professional hockey.
Yeah. So.
All right, man. He's Trevor Janicki. I'm Glenn Marini, and that's going to do it for Komets Corner. All right, we're going to hear more from Trevor Janicki in just a few moments, but let's go right to Saturday's game, because obviously a quick turnaround to play on Saturday. You hit Indy down the road, down I-69, coming off that overtime win. And when you take a look at how well the Komets have played on the road, they have to be licking their chops after the way Friday went here in Fort Wayne to get a chance to knock off this Indy team on the road at the Fish Tank.
And we play well down there.
Yeah.
We've had some good wins down there this year and last year too. I think Saturday night starts out with Sammy and the great job he did in goal Saturday night. Only gave up 1 goal, made a lot of big time saves. Took us a while to get started, but once we did, we were rolling. And you look at our shot total, and it's not as high as it was normally on Saturday, but we still won the game. And we've lost some games that way too, where the other team only had 15 or 16 shots. We had more, but we lost. So it's good to see that if that happens, we turn around and win the game instead of losing it. But it's a great team effort. We had to mix the lineup around a little bit, but it was a great team effort, and it's always fun to win.
I was going to ask you about the shot total, because I would say 2/3 to 3/4 of the games this season you've outshot your opponent, but you were outshot in all 3 games this weekend, yet they were all 3 wins. So do we just throw that stat out the window when it comes to shots? Because it's more about quality opportunities than it is quantity, really, right?
Totally. You got to have the quality of the shot is most important, not the quantity. And I think that shows Saturday night in Indy. We had 4 goals down there, and their goalie had to make some great saves too. But that's just how the game goes sometimes. You just it can be kind of tough to figure it out and why it happens, but sometimes it just happens that way.
We saw a beautiful goal from Matt Capone. What has he brought to this team? Because he's really starting to fit in and feel how to play with this group of guys, and you see that on the ice more and more each individual game.
He's brought a lot of skill good energy. He's not afraid to go to the net with the puck. He's not the biggest guy in the world, but he'll go to the crease with the puck. He's done that a lot. He's just a good skill player. He's dependable defensively. He moves pretty well. He's pretty good on faceoffs. So, he's finally, starting to get acclimated to the ECHL and the Komets, the travel schedule, all that kind of stuff. And now you're starting to see him shine.
When you take a look at Anthony Petrozelli, you saw him just get a goal right there. He's had some fortuitous goals. That one was off the goalie, I believe off the goalie's chest. He's had one off his shoulder this year. I mean, he's kind of a jack of all trades when it comes to figuring out creative ways to score. But what has he meant to this team? Because he's a guy that's captain-esque material, if you will, for the Komets.
Well, Anthony, you look at how long he's been with us, and he's still playing well. I think early in the season he was kind of in and out of the second line or down to the fourth line. And, the fourth line has had a lot of occupants this year. So you lose a little bit of consistency, but he's even filled in playing some defense for us. He's a smart player. Anthony's a real smart player. He's all about being the Komets and doing whatever he has to do. I think as an alternate captain, he brings the leadership that we need out of him because he's a veteran. But overall, I just think he's been playing so long, and you can see that in his play that he makes veteran-type plays. And that goal he scored Saturday night after they had made it 3-1, that was like the last nail in the coffin.
Yep.
It kind of sunk their ship for him, and but he's really, over the last 30 days, he's really picked up his game.
He really has. And so the team gets a win in Indy on Saturday night. Then you get on the bus and you head out to Toledo on Sunday. And this is a game. You got 2 wins already on the weekend, and there's nothing better than beating a Toledo team at their place. And you're able to do that as we take a look at some of the highlights against the Walleye. This is a game that didn't start out great. Toledo had 2 power play goals in the second period to make it 2-0. But what does it take for a team like the Komets to go in against a team where first place is on the line in the Central Division standings? You're down 2-0 heading into the third period and pull out a win on the road against a team that we know year in and year out is as good as Toledo has been.
Well, whoever gave that speech in the locker room in the second intermission,
bonus check, right?
Yeah, they must have hit a chord because we came out in the third and we were smoking. And but like Shane said on the broadcast, he wasn't too surprised that they tied it up. You can't get Toledo on the power play. You can't let them get on the power play. They're just too good at it. They've got the best one in the league. That's their forte. But we stuck with it, and Blake Murray comes through on a breakaway. I think Hawkins had a breakaway on Day, and Day stopped him. But Blake Murray got alone and scored his second goal. It's the game winner, and boom, we win 3 in a row, and we beat Toledo in Toledo.
And yeah, you see Jalen with a goal right there, but Blake Murray we're going to see score the game winner in overtime. And Blake, 3 goals in 2 games. He's really turned it on the last couple of weeks.
He's probably been one of our best players. Him and Majera have really turned on the offense. Mm-hmm. And I think that's huge, huge for us, huge for them. But Blake Murray, he's a goal scorer. He can put the puck in the net, and I'm just glad we got him. I'm happy as heck that he's with the Komets, and he loves it here. He enjoys it here, and I think he's happy to play here. And he's another guy that cares.
When you just saw Austin's 21st goal of the season, when you take a look at signing him in the offseason, we talked a lot about this is one of the big signings of the offseason. To see it pay off in the way that it has, I guess it has to be pretty rewarding for you. You're like, I knew this guy was going to be a stud.
Well, Jesse found him too. He was playing in South Carolina. He was under a Hershey contract. He wanted out. And he spent a lot of the summer in Fort Wayne. He was playing roller hockey all around the country, mm-hmm. and he was kind of home basing in Fort Wayne in the summer, and so we got to know him a little bit, and he's really blossoming into a well, he's just a top line player.
Yeah, he's been fantastic.
He's been great. He can find the back of the net better than in most guys, and that's huge.
I mean, he's got a chance at a 30-goal season. We got 2 months of the regular season still left, and 30 goals that is nothing to sneeze at when it comes to a season in the ECHL.
30 goals is a good season no matter what league you play in.
We take it.
If you're in the NHL and you score 30 goals, you're going to make a lot of money.
All right. Well, obviously, you see the Komets celebrating 3 wins in the 3 nights, including 2 of them in overtime, including that Sunday win at Toledo, which felt so good to beat the Walleye on the road. Pretty great way to end the weekend. One guy who we've already heard from, Trevor Janicki. Here's our second part with Trevor Janicki as we talk hockey with one of the Komets' top forwards. Here at Komets practice with Trevor Janicki. And Trevor, at the beginning of the season, I was asking Shane Almirante, the voice of the Komets, I was like, who are the guys that I should talk to? Number 1 on his list was Trevor Janicki.
Really?
Yeah.
Why's that?
I don't know. He said, I was like, who are the characters on this team? He goes like, they're pretty pro, they're pretty, docile group. But he goes, Trevor Janicki would be my first pick.
Yeah, I guess it's cool to hear, I guess. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, when you take a look at this situation here with the Komets, you are from Maple Grove, Minnesota. You think, okay, that's hockey country, right? Yep. But you've played a ton of hockey here in the Hoosier State, 5 years at Notre Dame, and now your first season with the Komets. How are you adapting, I should say, to the state of Indiana?
Yeah, I mean, this is my 6th year here, so I'm getting pretty used to it. And yeah, obviously I spent 5 years in South Bend, but I didn't really know too much about the history of hockey in Fort Wayne. So when I first got here, and I got to see the fan base and see the rink and see like all of the history that this organization has and that comes with this organization, it was pretty cool just to be a part of it now. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's been great. Why
did you want to sign with the Komets during the offseason? What was the impetus to get here in Fort Wayne?
It's a winning culture. I mean, I think this is a place that you go if you want to win, and it's an unbelievable group of guys. We have a great culture from like the older guys and the veterans all the way down to the rookies. And obviously we've won a lot of games so far this year, so we just have to continue doing that. But yeah, I think just the culture and it's not too far from home as well, so family's able to come out a little bit and that sort of thing. So
I want to talk about your time at Notre Dame because you had a pretty cool connection family-wise. Your dad Curtis played there from '89 to '93, and then you and your younger brother Justin overlapped for 3 seasons in South Bend. So what does Notre Dame hockey mean to the family, and how cool was it that you got to suit up where your dad was and play with your brother at Notre Dame?
Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable. I grew up basically since I was old enough to talk. I knew the Notre Dame fight song. I remember watching Notre Dame football games with my dad on Saturdays from when I was like 4 or 5 years old all the way up. So it was a really cool thing for my family, especially being there with my brother and my dad being able to watch both of his boys play for the Irish and stuff. And it was a dream come true. It was like from the day I was born, it was my number 1 dream in life to play for Notre Dame. So being able to accomplish that and to do it with my brother was unbelievably special. So
you still check out those Notre Dame games on Saturday football-wise?
Yeah, oh yeah, big fan. I was a little bummed this year with how the whole playoff situation worked out, but I guess if anyone is to win, another team from Indiana is cool. So
okay. So who's your favorite Notre Dame football player growing up?
Growing up, I don't know. I like the years when Everett Goldson was the quarterback, and they had a couple. I remember just being really dialed in that season, and they had the the goal line stand against Stanford, and then that was a really good season. So probably him, but I wasn't old enough really to remember like the Jimmy Clausen or the Brady Quinn days. So probably him.
Man, you make me feel old when you say you don't remember those guys.
Yeah.
All right, so Trevor Janicki, Notre Dame royalty in terms of his family, with his dad playing there and his brother playing there at the same time. We've got about a minute left, so I want to ask you about Norfolk. 3 games this week. This is an opportunity, even though you're in the stretch of 6 road games consecutively, this is a chance maybe to make some hay, get some wins on the road, where this team has played very well this hockey season.
Oh, we have a great opportunity this week in Norfolk. Like you just said, we play well on the road. We're going to get in there today, so they'll be able to practice tomorrow. We're a hot club right now, and they seem to be struggling a little bit. So let's see what happens. But I like where our team is right now. I like where we're at as a group. We're going to get some help from Bakersfield this week too. It looks like they're going to send a defenseman and a forward to us in time for the first game in Norfolk. So we'll pump up the roster a little bit.
Boom, that's breaking news, right?
Breaking news.
Breaking news. That's what we have here on Komets Corner. David, we appreciate the time. Thank you for coming in.
You're welcome, Glenn.
He is David Franke of the Komets. I'm Glenn Marini, and that's Komets Corner.